where the dairy bar is now was a swamp.
A swamp.
A swamp. And
So you had this vision for a dairy bar on the swamp.
Well, no, I was going to fill it, which I did.
Keep your sunny side up, hide the side that gets blue.
Well, podcast listeners, welcome to Manager Memo, an opportunity where we talk to practitioners in the field of business. And today, I have the distinct pleasure welcoming Mr. Henry Zarowski. Can I call you Hank?
You sure can.
All right, Hank, welcome to Manager Memo. Thank you very much for coming today. We like to tell our listeners a little bit about business. So, how long you been in business? How did you get started?
You want to know when I got in business?
Yeah, when did you get in business?
1957.
57.
Now, 59 years ago.
I was 3 years old.
I can't help that.
57. Well, how'd you get started?
Well, I was in the produce business. I was house-to-house peddler. If you remember those days, that's way back.
Okay.
I would sell retail.
And that was by truck?
By truck.
And you would just drive around. This was in Moosup, Connecticut?
Moosup, Plainfield, Sterling, Warregan, Voluntown, Jewett City.
Okay.
All over.
And how long did you do that?
I did that for 10 years when I started the dairy bar. Then I kept it 3 years because we couldn't make the payments on
the dairy bar.
On the dairy bar.
Now, why did you branch out? Were you not doing as well in the produce?
The produce
why'd you
was a
branch out?
hard business because in the wintertime it was very, very cold. And you walk house to house, it's real cold. I was approached by
McDonald's?
McDonald's.
Okay.
And they wanted to give me a franchise. But they wanted me to go to Killingley.
Okay.
Killingley, Putnam area. And I did not want that. I wanted to be closer to home.
So you did your own McDonald's?
They kept giving me offers closer. I says, if you can leave me in Plainfield area or town of Plainfield somewhere, I would take it. They said there was not enough people to support a McDonald's at that time. So I went to see the banker in Moosup. And I needed some money to buy some property. So there was where the dairy bar is now was a swamp.
A swamp.
A swamp. And
So you had this vision for a dairy bar on the swamp.
Well, no, I was going to fill it, which I did. I bought the piece of land from the woman that owned it, and we filled it with gravel. And the gravel at that time was 10 cents a yard, not delivered, but 10 cents a yard. I had to pay for delivery by the truck. So when we got that all filled in, the following year, we're going to build a dairy bar. Just basically, it was
Do you remember?
like a Dairy Queen.
Do you remember how much you borrowed from the bank? Can I ask
Yes.
that?
Yes, I borrowed $5,000.
$5,000, okay.
And he only gave me 5 years to pay it.
To pay it back.
And I had a hard time borrowing that to build a place on a swamp. So anyway, we got the place built. I got some plans from one of the produce people out of Providence for a dairy bar. I would just want to sell ice cream because that's all McDonald's sold in the beginning was ice cream.
Okay.
They didn't sell food.
Okay.
And so I got some plans from a Dairy Queen that they had some plans. I didn't buy the plans. They gave it to me because I did some business with that person. It was $5,000 to build a thing, not for the lot, but just for the building, which was an awful lot of money, you know.
Sure.
And I didn't know how it was going to be, so.
But you took the risk.
Oh yes, I always took risks. That's how I was in business. I never worked. The only time I worked for somebody was I was in high school. I wanted to finish high school. Then I went into service. So I kept the produce business for 3 years because I couldn't make the payments on the dairy bar alone because in the winter we closed. We only opened up in March and we closed. I would go till the end, till November,
So you're operating both businesses because of the weather. Trying-
because I
make the
needed the money.
payments, right.
The dairy bar was not producing the first year.
And when did it turn around? When did it start being a cash producer?
Well, at the end of the first year, the ice cream was going down because it was getting cooler. So we put in hot dogs, hamburgers, and my favorite clam cakes, chowder, and fried clams, which I got recipes from chefs, 2 chefs in the town of Plainfield that I used to sell produce to. They are still our mainstay. After 59 years, they're still our mainstay, I would say.
So you latched on a good idea right back from the start.
Well, it started out good, and we at that time, the fried clam dinners, $1.95, I think. And today, I believe, $17.95.
The prices have gone up.
But the clams, I used to buy gallons. They were all shot, fresh clams. Oh, never no frozen. And they were $5 a gallon. So that's where the big difference is. Now I would say they're close to 100 and what? 120.
When you're giving advice to people that want to start a business, what would that advice be?
I believe, and my wife, we both started the business because she took care of the ice cream section and I took care of the kitchen. In the beginning, we both worked the ice cream, but then we couldn't make it, so we put the food in and I put my kitchen in. And then I took care of the kitchen and she took care of that. And cleanliness was her main thing. And to this day, I don't believe anybody can go to Hank's Dairy Bar and see it dirty. Or find any dirt, even under the fryolators and everything. They are washed and scrubbed every week.
So would that be something that if you're writing a memorandum, a memo to your team?
Clean.
Clean. Keep it clean.
Clean is the main thing. Product, best you can buy.
Best you can buy.
The price varies. Well, you can't.
You're in business, right?
Well, it varies because whatever the competitors are playing, you got to compete with them. Takes a lot of patience to start, I would think, from the way I started. Now, if you have a lot of money, it's a different story. Or your corporation or something like that.
But you started with $5,000 and had to fill in a swamp.
Anyway,
So what changes have you seen? It's 60 years now since you started, and 60 years later, your business is still going.
it's better than it ever was, I believe.
Yeah. So what have you seen all these years? What's changed?
I think the personality of everybody at the dairy bar is excellent. If it's not, they got fired.
Okay.
If they were arrogant or sarcastic to customers, they were out.
Right.
And I believe to this day, because I was sitting in the yard the other weekend, listening to the band out there, and I had about 4 couples that came up to me, and they said they've been coming to the dairy bar for over 40 years. And they never, ever had a bad dinner.
So that must make you feel good.
Very good.
40 years.
I have never heard anybody complain. If they complain, it's something that they don't like or something, but they're compensated right away. They're not, no questions asked. If you don't like it, you just bring it back.
Mr. Zarowski, thank you so much for coming to manage your memo.
Well,
thanks for being part of this.
I hope I did
appreciate it.
what I could do.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And for all you loyal listeners out there, come back soon for more management ideas from top leaders in the field of business through the prism of what we call the Manager Memo. Thank you very much.
I've enjoyed working there all my life, especially the dairy bar, because I had the winters off, which is excellent. And that's why we never, people says I would have to put inside seating, if I was gonna open year round. But I didn't wanna stay open year round. We wanted the winters off
Yeah.
because my wife and I both worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week when we started.
Keep your sunny side up, hide the side that gets blue.